his single race is not going to turn the tide, right?
Correct.
The numbers, I mean, we need how many seats to take over the House? I don't even know off the top of my head. It's not, but it's one step further in the right direction to get opposition to Donald Trump. Because right now, like, listen, I'm not saying that we need to throw our lot in with the Democratic Party, because we see how they operate, right? They're consistently operating in the same fashion. However, to have a divided government would be very beneficial for everybody right now.
You're absolutely right. But the problem becomes is, what does that divided government agree on? And when you have
the same thing they would agree on even if it was an all Republican government, which is war.
Not necessarily.
War, yeah.
Well, we saw from the healthcare bill that the divided government really didn't affect that. It was mostly the divides within the
single party. Yeah.
So when we talk about it being a divided party or a divided government making beneficial for all of us by halting everything, but what the downfall and the negative side effect of this is, and this is the Jimmy Dore argument is what I'm going to call it, but essentially,
hey Jimmy,
but essentially that the negative reinforcement of the positive reinforcement of negative behavior by the Democrats on an Ossoff win will be detrimental to a progressive movement in this country. Because, you disagree with me on this.
No, I'll tell you why. Go ahead.
All right. Because we see that if Ossoff were to win, the message from the Democrats would be, as I stated, you don't need to change, just be not Trump. So you can continue to take large sums of money from defense contractors, from pharmaceuticals, from all of the bad actors in our economy and our government, and do whatever it is that you want to do.
That presupposes that you can actually teach the Democrats anything to begin with.
Right.
I don't believe that you can.
I don't believe that we can.
So why teach them a lesson? Why worry about the fact that this race won't teach them a lesson? The only thing this race does to me is not to teach the Democrats a lesson. It simply says, let's get one step closer to having a divided government, to have complete gridlock on anything that Donald Trump wants to do. The only thing that they would agree on is the same thing they would agree on even if they had a Democratic House and a Democratic Senate, which is war. That's the consensus across both parties.
Killing net neutrality, killing...
Well, actually, no. So net neutrality is we could argue about that. But in terms of the recent browser history, that actually was pretty party line.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah. But, so I mean that would have been a great time for us to have some centrist Democrats in there to block Donald Trump in order for us to not have to worry about Amazon selling us, our well, they do that anyway. Right. But of Comcast selling people our browser history. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a decent place where I don't care what the Democratic Party establishment learns or not learn. They've demonstrated to me that they're fully capable of losing to the idiot in chief and not learning anything. So I'm not trying to teach them a lesson. I'm trying to stop Donald Trump's onslaught and Paul Ryan's wet dreams of having a completely libertarian-esque society.
Oh, it's not even really libertarianism.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's who he claims it is. But to stop that onslaught, and then here's the other thing, I've already decided from this election, we are not going to birth a progressive movement out of the Democratic Party. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that we should not leverage the Democratic Party to stop the hemorrhaging, right? Right now, Donald Trump, besides his fecklessness, if he was more competent, God forbid what he could get done. But his fecklessness has, cool. His fecklessness has led to, but I lost my whole train of thought looking at the new graphic. Okay.
Well,
anyway.
no, see, but the thing is you're talking about things that I agree with you on. I mean, we're not disagreeing on this point. But you're saying that it would be a net benefit for Ossoff, and I'm saying that I can see a silver lining for both, a win and a loss.
No, I don't see that silver lining because the Democrats aren't going to learn nothing anyway.
I think that not necessarily all Democrats, but I think that you will see a larger portion of the party than what is already pushing for them to become more progressive, to start pushing a message to become more progressive, and maybe, just maybe, we'll actually see our media start talking about it too. It's a pipe dream.
I mean, you got more faith than Christians, I know, man. Like, you got more hope and faith. I don't have any faith in the Democratic Party, but I also don't see any value in not utilizing them to be a buffer against Trump. Being a buffer against Trump simply means stay the line, hold the line, just hold the line until progressives actually gather and group and do something. But to think that we're going to be able to do something by learning the Democrat, we're going to learn them something. They're going to teach a lesson. We're going to teach them a lesson. No, they're not going to learn anything.
The only thing is though that I see any defeat of a Democrat to be not necessarily, oh my God, we're going to teach them a lesson. Although I do think that remains a possibility. But I think that when You
The
have,
ginger beard, man. I love the ginger beard.
I'm
It's-
glad.
yeah, no, it's great. Like you reminded me of the dude off of Abraham, off of Walking Dead, except he was ginger all the way around.
Yeah, I used to be a ginger when I was a kid. No longer.
No longer. Yeah. No, he didn't have a beard before tonight. Before
did just
the
grow
winter.
this in 12
No,
hours.
he grew it totally in like 3 hours. But anyway, it's captivating. I'm just
Okay.
Anyway. Go ahead.
Anyway, so what I was he totally disrupted me, man.
I know.
All right, so what I was saying was that it's not necessarily just to teach the Democrats a lesson. The Democrats, what they excel at, obviously, isn't winning elections, but it is killing the left. They excel at killing the left. And when you see them lose power, it's possible that, and I'm saying possible, I'm not saying likely, but it is possible that some of their fan base might bleed off. Some of their influence in legitimacy of their voices in media might bleed off. But then again, I mean, they're
I
still,
don't believe it. Yeah.
they're still
You
having
know
Donna
why?
Brazil on CNN. So,
You know why? Because
Or not
they
CNN,
have the money.
MSNBC, yeah.
They have the money. And I knew when Trump won, there was going to be a surplus of cash that just flowed into the DCCC, the DNC. They were going to be fine into the think tanks, to Neera Tanden's organization.
Did you see the reporting that Sirota did?
I haven't seen the
It's
most recent.
3 times as much as what was going into
So they're never going
2016
anywhere
from corporations.
They're not going anywhere, right? And you thought Trump was going to teach them a lesson? No, Trump is the cash cow that keeps giving.
Yep.
Democrats are going to be just fine in terms of an institution. They don't have to change their ways because they're getting paid even more money now to not change their ways.
It's the producers.
Yeah.
They can make more money losing.
They can make more money losing in this case. And so for anyone to, but here's the problem with thinking that you're going to siphon off a progressive movement from the Democratic Party. It's because it means that you're creating your entire framework for a progressive movement based on the Democratic Party.
Oh, no,
when the
absolutely
Democratic Party has already demonstrated that they are not going to change. 2, they have more money than God right now, and they could do whatever the hell they want to, even when they are absolutely, positively wrong. I don't care. Only thing the Democratic Party can do is to divide the government, to stop Donald Trump's onslaught, because I know without a shadow of a doubt, if the status quo was bad, it can get worse.
Oh, yeah. I agree 100% with that.
Okay.
But the thing that I disagree with is that we can't bleed off some of the base of the Democratic Party. I mean, you talk to
I mean,
voters.
you could bleed them off, but it's not going to be by teaching them lessons in elections. It's going to be going door to door. It's going to be going to the barbershops. It's going to be going to synagogues and churches and mosques and talking to people and
radicalizing your mom. I think that's-
radicalizing your mom, radicalizing your nephews, radicalizing everybody. And, that's the only way you're going to actually do it. But like, they're never going to. If it's a local, it's going to have to be a local movement to actually change this. All right, Michael Mike says dissatisfaction with Hillary type centrism could lead to a worse, i.e. more effective fascist such as Tom Cotton. Nah. We might need to do a show together every now and then. We're not laughing at you, Mikey.
No,
We're
not.
just laughing at the fact that we agreed on that, like,
Yeah, we
simultaneously.
hardly ever agree.
Yeah, we don't agree on anything except that.